many dark corridors, dodging the Nagas, until he was able to find the final window which would lead him out. When he looked out of the window, he could see the back of the prison, where it overlooked the mining street. He tried counting its location, but he had forgotten. Arjun got an idea. He had been carrying a weapon to defend himself in the eventuality of an attack. He used it by keeping it over the sill, so when he would look at this window from outside the prison, he would be able to see. That is where the explosives needed to be placed. Arjun went back to his wagon and began distributing food to each cage so they wouldn't presume something was wrong with him. He had to continue acting until he was out. The Nagas were less in number here, next to the cages, but soon he found the Nagas were walking up and down a particular cage. When he came forward, the Naga took some apples and bananas for themselves, grinning. "No heat here, old man. Why do you wear such clothes?" the Naga asked. Arjun just sniggered with his hoarse voice. He knocked on the cage which the Nagas protected. "He doesn't eat food." Arjun noticed who it was and he wasn't surprised. It was none other than Kalki. He had been lying on his back, a thick beard covering his face, and his hair had grown longer than before. He looked weaker and sicker than the last time Arjun had seen him. Arjun's stomach convulsed in fear and relief. Arjun tried to sound deep and gravelly. "That there is someone out there calling Yatu, saying something about a party, or something amongst the guards." "Party?" The Naga looked at the other guard. "They can't party without us." "They are, surely. You keep an eye on him, old man. We will come back in an instant." Arjun slowly nodded. "Yeah, sure. I'm right here. You go on ahead." The second Naga was reluctant and asked the first one, "We are given orders not to move from here." "Orders?" "PFFT. Arjun growled, and so did the other Naga. "Have some fun, snake." "Yeah, have fun," said the first Naga, frowning. "We are tired of standing here in the dark." Arjun couldn't agree more. The second Naga managed to grin, though he was still uncertain. But he nodded and was taken by the first guard for the fictitious party. Arjun now knew how the foolish abounded every single tribe and race. He came forward, his hands clutching the rails as he looked at Kalki. For a moment, he pitied him, but he knew he had no time. "PSST. What?" Kalki groaned. He was sleepy, perhaps. "Leave." His voice was hoarse. "It's me, Arjun," Arjun whispered. There was a moment of silence as Kalki opened his eyes. He stood up, eyebrows arching, hands shaking as he came forward, wide-eyed as if he was seeing a dream. "Arjun?" He pushed his hand out, and they each other by the shoulders and hugged through the rails. "It's going to be fine. I thought you had escaped somewhere else or perhaps perished." Kalki had tears in his eyes, which he swiped away. He looked so exhausted and almost dead. "Kripa brought me here," Arjun said. "We are going to get you out. Did you get my message and come here?" "Yes." Arjun paused. "You realize our lives have changed. We have to leave for the mountains as soon as we can get you out." "He came to me yesterday." "Who?" Kalki looked sideways. His eyes were glittering with disgust. "Kali." "What happened?" "He thinks his sister likes me." Arjun shrugged. "Why does every girl like you? What's wrong with me?" Kalki beamed at that, and one could see vestiges of his former charm. "He's either being protective or jealous. He thinks I have stolen her heart, and to prove he's the king of all kings, he's going to execute me in front of her and everyone. Without a trial?" Arjun was surprised. He had read about the city judicial system. Death was the last resort, and that too this was a recent phenomenon. The jury would sit, deciding his fate. Kalki's defense would be that whatever he did was out of self-defense. But Arjun knew that Kali would twist it into something else. A trial for him is just a formality. He's going to end it the way he wants it to end. Kalki spat. He was clearly angry, but then he was angry with everything that was around him. "What are you planning to do for an escape? You won't like the plan." Arjun pursed his lips, and then he explained the entire explosives idea to him. Kalki just frowned. "Have you found the location to trigger it off?" "Seems like I have." Arjun nodded. "Just remember to improvise." Kalki grabbed his shoulders. "And be careful, most of all. I would rather die than to risk your life." Arjun shook his head. "I feel the same way. I am not the hero of the Dark Age. You are. You have to go there and protect, and if you die, or if Kali finds out you are the one who will vanquish him, he will kill you right at this moment. For now, he thinks of you as a sport." Kalki hummed thoughtfully. "I just don't think of him as the Adharm anymore." "Why?" "Call it a gut feeling. But I thought, I know I told you it was him, but when I met him, it just didn't seem that way." Arjun nodded. It changed everything for him, but he couldn't say anything else because there was a bell tolling. It's an alarm. Kalki tapped Arjun's shoulder. I think they know you are here. Run. There were the sounds of heavy footsteps calling out to the intruder. With one last embrace, Arjun tried making his way out, but there was no way out. The windows were grilled and the corridors were perplexing. He threw away the shawl and reached the end of the corridor where he found he was in the courtyard area. He saw all the inmates gazing at him as Nagas began to follow him. Arjun knew he had to do something. With one swift movement of his sickle against the wall, he climbed it. Nagas were on the ground, yelling and milling all around him. Arjun continued climbing up, hoping the sickle would make a purchase on the stone walls and help him get away. He was so close to death, he could feel it. With one more stab, he saw the sickle was losing its grip. It wasn't going to hold his weight anymore. His fingers grabbed the stone edges when an arrow came in his direction. It missed its intended target.